Okay, I call this regular council meeting to order, and could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Jason Knight.
Here.
Councilmember Place 1, Ruth Camarillo Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Place 2, Elise Chacon.
Here.
Councilmember Place 3, Luana Lulu Martin.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember Place 4, Randy Haskins.
Here.
Mayor, with, sorry, I lost my notes here. There is a quorum to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and the invocation will be delivered by Shelley Ibarra.
Will you bow your heads with me, please? Lord God, we come before you. You are not an idol that cannot see, hear, or speak, one made by the hands of man, but we are speaking to the God Yahweh, who created us in our mother's womb. You created the world we live in, Father. We come before you and ask for rain in abundance. I know this council is concerned. Answer them, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Lord, you know our pain. We need water, and you alone are our provider. I ask your hand on this meeting. Let every decision be guided by your hand. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and do we have any announcements?
No, there are no announcements today.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, and now we're going to move into citizens' comments.
No staff reports?
Hello, my name is Maria Holleran, also known as Meadow. I made some comments on code enforcement for public safety and animal welfare, as well as suggestions for TNR improvements for Aransas Pass Animal Control at the last city council meeting. And since then, there have been more animal abandonments, mainly mother dogs who have not been spayed, dumped alongside with their pups, and animal neglect cases during the freeze in Aransas Pass. It's only going to get worse when there's no consequences for people committing these crimes. We do not want to end up with a severe animal welfare crisis like our neighbors in Corpus Christi. I'm aware that there is currently an open position for a code enforcement officer, and for those listening, if you qualify, please apply. Our town needs you. I also wanted to mention that there is a grant opportunity that the Aransas Pass Animal Control can apply for. It's called Texas Spay and Neuter Pilot Program. Just to tell you a little bit about it, Texas nonprofits, animal shelters, and local governments can now apply for funding through the state's newly launched $13 million Texas Spay and Neuter Pilot Program. All Texas counties are eligible, and funding will be awarded through an open enrollment process using a tiered approach to ensure resources reach both urban and rural underserved communities. TXSNP will provide direct financial support to organizations that deliver spay and neuter services for dogs, cats owned by or in the custody of Texas residents, rescue organizations, animal shelters, and government entities. Their submission deadline is on May 13th, 2026. And do not worry, I'm also going to bug our crime and control and prevention board about these issues as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Meadow.
Thanks,
Meadow.
Mary, can we have someone check into that grant?
Yes, yeah, we will.
Thank you.
Hey, Mary, I did give a gentleman by the name of Solomon Lopez. He's with Baldwin, Texas, Kalen's information. That's what they do for a living. They help different communities and nonprofit organizations get grants.
Okay.
So maybe that's something we can put on her agenda to work on as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak?
Thank you for letting the citizens speak tonight. It matters to be able to stand here and say what you need, what needs saying without worrying about retaliation. That's how local government should work. And tonight, I'm talking about one thing. The chamber is handling hot funds and the refusal to follow the law. Everyone up there knows I disagree with letting the chamber use the municipal district funds for the sign. Didn't like it then, don't like it now, but I understood the idea. Extending an olive branch since the last council had already pushed it through. I get the attention, even though I still think it was the wrong call. Now, about the sign. First, a whole lot of citizens don't like the color's choice. I'm one of them. But I get what they were going for. Care, Pete, reach, vibe, disagreed, no big deal. Second, Luann. Luann, you met my mom at the Blues Fest, and she had a blast there. Thank you for bringing something like that to our town. But when she came in from Corpus Christi, she saw the one big orange ass, and she noticed it. I didn't even have to point it out. Third, y'all approved the funding as a gesture of good faith towards the chamber. Understand that, but I still don't agree, and here's why. My dad was a smart man. If he owned a high-dollar sports car with composite brake rotors, thank him. He invented them. And he taught me simple. Figure out if a person is honest or dishonest. Once you know that, you can predict 95% of their behavior. And the three folks that used to sit up there made that real easy. Talking worse than the citizens they scolded, voting live visibly impaired, and voting with conflict of interest, like it was normal. You didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure that out. The council show good faith and return. The chamber has block and audit, something they're required by law to comply with under Texas Code Chapter 351. And any group receiving hotel occupancy tax funds must open their books, and the city has full authority to audit them. That's not optional. And now let me add this. When I served on the Charter Review Board, it struck me as odd when Kerry said the chamber couldn't survive if their share of hot funds dropped from 75 to 50%, especially since hot funds are only supposed to be used to attract tourists or support the arts. If losing that extra 5% would shut them down, then maybe the problem isn't the funding, maybe it's the spending. And here's why this matters. This isn't about a sign, it's about accountability for public money. Meanwhile, some of the chamber board members, including former council members, are spreading the rumor that this council is selling the harbor. A skim of the charter shows it would take a citywide vote to sell anything. And let's be honest, the chamber didn't ask the public for any input on the sign, not even a Facebook bubble.
Hey, Will, your time's up, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Oh, come up. Oh, come up here, sir.
Hi, Will Pond. I'm on the agenda. Do I wait until that item comes up?
Yes, you can speak on that one.
Thanks.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Okay, all right.
Mayor, before we go into staff reports, I'd like to ask the council if they would consider deviating from the agenda and at this time move to 2 action items, and that's item 9.7 and 9.6.
You want to do 7 first, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all good with that?
What is it?
Right here.
Oh, okay, got you.
Okay.
I'm good.
That's fine.
Okay, we're gonna consider an act to award a RFP for disaster recovery consulting services.
Yes. H2O, we're recommending H2O Partners. H2O is our current disaster recovery consultant. They've represented the city very well. They've been responsive and consistent, and they've shown to have the city's best interests. So we're recommending H2O for this contract.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Howard, President with H2O is here tonight. He'd like to address the council, but we have contracted with them since 2017. They were the ones that hired it, that helped us get through the Harvey situation.
Thank you, Sandra and Mary. Council, thanks for giving me a couple minutes here. First of all, thanks for recommending us for this contract period going forward. This contract is a pre-positioned contract, which means the city has no financial obligation until there's a declared disaster to activate the contract, so you have no responsibility for any billings or anything until those actions would be reimbursable by the state or federal government. It's good business to pre-procure this. And I think it's a lesson that we all learned together after Harvey. The analogy I always use is nobody should be out buying an umbrella in a rainstorm. You should buy that umbrella well before, and that's what you've done with this procurement process. It's good business and it's good government too, because it saves your citizens, your taxpayers here, a lot of unnecessary delay and grief after a disaster to accelerate those reimbursements. There are 3 things that have to happen in order for the federal government through the state to reimburse the city of Aransas Pass. The first, you have to have a procurement that meets their guidelines, and I'm quite sure the procurement that Sandra recommended does that. That is one that had been pre-approved by TDM, Texas Division of Emergency Management for other services, so that box is checked. The next is a valid contract with your contractor, and that would be us. I've already had brief words with your city attorney, and we're going to make sure that we get a contract signed. There's a lot of provisions in there that have nothing to do with disaster, but the state requires them, and you've got to make sure that's done in order to have a valid contract. And then the third and most important is any work that we did under this contract be eligible work. There's a lot of work that happens outside of the eligibility rules that you won't get reimbursed for. And that's part of the reason you hired us. We've been doing this for 25 years. We understand what eligible actions are and what are ineligible. And we will coordinate with Mary and Sandra with every step of the way. And the way we work this is 2 parts. There's a master service agreement that basically binds us to you, has our insurance provisions and all of those kind of pro forma things, and then when and if a storm happens. And I'll pause to say, I hope you don't see me again. I really hope, because I know how hard that was for you guys to go through Harvey.
Yeah.
I hope that we don't get activated during
Same
these
here.
next 5 years. But know that if we do, you've got good help, and your staff did an excellent job. They started behind the curve without a lot of experience in this area, and by the end of this process, they did just a fantastic job. The total number of dollars that we helped procure in reimbursements for the city was $16,860,000 after Harvey. That's the federal share. And you all know that there's a local share of 25% on top of that you had to put the money up for, and that's painful and that hurts. But just know that we understand how important it is to get that eligible funds to you as soon as possible. And that's what we strive to do. Having said that, we're talking tonight in the midst of unprecedented change at the federal level with FEMA. Nobody really knows what the outcome of these changes will be. We've been tracking it since day one. The president appointed a FEMA review council back in the spring. They had a report and recommendations that was due to the White House on December 11th. They made the deadline, but there was no action taken, and they have gone completely silent at Homeland Security about this. We don't know what changes will be made. I had a brief chance to talk with your mayor. One of the options that we hear that they're considering is to make disaster reimbursement a block grant rather than a reimbursement for actual expenses to fix your water tower and your bulkhead and all those things that happened after Harvey. That sounds great because block grant money gets there quicker, but in a block grant you have no opportunity to go back and revise upwards. Right? Once you say these are our preliminary damage estimates, and you shake hands with Chief Kidd at TDM and you shake hands with the FEMA representative, they write the check and it's over. You have no appeal process. And I'll bring up, and so we don't know. That could be good that you get the money sooner, but it also could have some peril for you. And the example for that is your bulkhead down at your the seawall down there. We were able to help appeal that initial denial of claim, and we were successful in doing it. And Sandra really pushed us to do this. Mary remembered our job is to tell our clients how realistic it will be to get the money. And we told her, FEMA rarely reverses themselves and goes back on appeal. But Sandra dug in her heels and said, no, we want to go through with the appeal, and agreed to engage us to do that, whether you got paid or not. And thankfully, $367,988 was re-awarded back to you instead of de-obligated. So that's the kind of peril that a city finds itself in, because ultimately the burden is yours on this. And just know that we'll help you watch every nickel, because we know that money is important to the services you deliver to your citizens here, and keep the wheels running here in the city. As I said, I'll be meeting with your city attorney, and we'll negotiate a contract that you guys will get a chance to look at, whatever your procedure is for those. And the other thing that we'd like to do, once this is finished and contract executed on a pro bono basis with no charge, I'd like to have some of our expert staff meet with representatives of your city departments, Public Works, Parks and Rec, Roads and Streets, Finance. There's some things you can do in advance of a storm that'll make that interval between the disaster declaration and your first check much shorter. And it's basic things. Sandra knows most of it now, but it's timekeeping, how your staff records their time during a disaster, equipment logs every time you roll a city police vehicle out, or a fire vehicle, or any city-owned public works maintenance vehicle out. You need to keep a separate log for that time and the mileage and who the operator was. And that operator has to be tied back to a timesheet that is also coded to disaster work. You can go back and recreate this, which we did. It just takes a long time. Much easier to do it up front, and we have some guidelines to help you do that. And we're looking forward to this next tenure of service to you. Your business is important to us. We're a small business. We understand. I'm a small town guy. I grew up in Texarkana, about as far from here you can get in the state. But my family was involved in city government there too, and I understand how hard it is and what the burden is. And hopefully our services can help you rest assured that should you have another disaster declaration, that you've got good help. Happy to take any questions, and if there are none, I'll just say thank you.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for moving me on.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, Myron.
Myron Schrader, 246 East Stoddard. I just want to say I've seen some of the work they've done, and I've seen the others that have applied for it, and I know that H2O has outperformed the others. So
Yep.
if for what it matters, I vote for H2O.
All right, thanks, Myron.
Thank you, Myron. Thank you, Myron.
Okay, well, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to
Mayor?
approve.
Yes.
Let me read, when you make your motion, make sure that after Recovery Consultant Services, that you say to H2O Partners, Inc., and direct city manager and city attorney to work with a representative from H2O Partners to finalize a professional master
You wanna hand
service
that over?
agreement. You got it? You get it?
No.
Okay.
You want me to read that?
I wrote it, you saw that.
I was like, I got all the H2O part, I had that. Okay.
Can you read it?
Jackson, instrument to work. Sure. H2O partners and, what's that say?
Get master service agreement.
Okay. Well, all right. I make a motion to approve H2O Partners, Inc. for disaster recovery services, and to direct the city manager and city attorney to work with representatives from H2O Partners to finalize professional master services agreement.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving right along, we're going to consider an act to approve, change order number 1 to the contract with Chesney Morales Partners, Inc. in the amount of $53,660 in connection with the fire and police station renovations.
Yes, just as you read, this item is to consider approving a change order to the existing engineering contract with Chesney Morales for the police and the fire renovations. The additional services in this change order are associated with windstorm certification for the re-roof over the police building and the municipal court, and also for the extension of the fire apparatus bay, and then also some additional design services related to the exhaust filtration system. The amount of this change order is $53,660. Mr. Walters is not here, but he is available on the phone if council has any questions.
Yeah, and I guess just so everybody understands, we're not spending it, this is going on one of the few proposals for the fire station project.
This would, if approved, this would increase the contract amount
Right.
from $550,193 to $603,853. So it will increase the engineering contract amount.
Right.
And this is for the extension on the fire department?
Yes, it's for the windstorm certification for the police building and some additional services that are needed for the windstorm certification for the police building and the municipal court re-roofing, and for the extension of the fire apparatus bay.
I'm curious, why was that not taken care of in the original bid?
Mr. Walters is on the phone. I believe he can answer that question.
He is on the phone?
He's
We're on the coast.
What part wasn't asked for?
Both parts, to re-roof the whole police station and municipal building. It was just asked to look at the existing roof, and then the extension of the apparatus bay that came on after.
I don't have a problem with the extension of the fire department deal, but when you were doing the bid on the fire department and the police department, wasn't the roof considered also? Wouldn't it have been?
Not at the time. We just analyzed. We just had a roofing consultant analyze it, and we were just going to patch the roof. We were going to keep the roof, but then just repair it as needed.
So is it not currently windstorm certified?
Go ahead.
Is it currently not windstorm certified?
Not current. Not to my understanding, it's not windstorm certified. So if we were to re-roof it, we would have to windstorm.
But if you're going to re-roof, you
certified.
still have to do the windstorm certification, and that's what this project is. It's
Did we
one of
not have the re-roof in the original
The re-roof
remodel?
is part of our basic services. We are providing that service, but the windstorm was not at the time.
Is this insurance on the roof or just a certification on the roof?
It's a certification for the windstorm. It's in order for you to be able to apply for the Texas Department of Insurance.
How much of that amount is for the design? Because I heard part of that was for the design, so how much of that is for the design part?
For that part, it's not for the windstorm certification. It's from the engineer. It's $9,500.
$9,500 additional on the design part?
No, the design is not. We're not asking for additional service on the design.
Okay.
So where is the rest of the money going?
Let me bring up the contract.
The rest of the money is for the extension of the apparatus thing.
That's right.
When we went out for bids just to do the remodel,
We haven't gone out for bids
Oh, there
yet.
hasn't, oh, okay.
No, we have
So
not
then
gone
that
out.
makes
Yeah, we've
sense.
not gone, we're preparing to issue the RFP. We haven't gone out yet.
Okay, so that, okay, well then that makes more sense to me. That makes sense.
And if the alternates aren't accepted after after it goes out to bid, there are construction administration fees that would get dropped out of that too, that are broken out in the fees as well.
So regardless, this fee's gonna be in there regardless of what the bids come in, we have to have this. Correct?
If you keep the alternates, yes. If you want us to keep the alternates in the documents, yes. If you say I don't want to keep, if you say you don't want the alternates to re-roof, or you don't want the alternate to extend the fire apparatus, then no, we don't have to proceed with it.
Is that something
I believe we should proceed with the re-roofing. I think that's.
with all, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if you don't want to get the wind certification or the TDI for the re-roof, then we don't have to do the 9,500, but, I mean, that's what we're recommending.
I think the issue I have is that why wasn't this asked for in the beginning? You know, it's very early in the process and there's already a change order.
Or why isn't it part of the proposal, like the full bid? Right?
Mr. Walters, what they're doing right now, they're putting the RFP.
Because we weren't asked to re-roof the whole building, we were only asked to patch it. We're not asking for additional service to do the re-roof, only because it's so small, and it's not going to be an issue for us to do that. So we're not asking for additional service to do the re-roof.
Okay.
Anybody else have any more questions?
Do we have anybody out there that has any information or would like to speak on this?
My name is Crystal Gotro. I am a co-owner of ProTouch Contractors, Inc. Anytime you do a re-roof or even a patch of over 100 square feet, you need a windstorm certificate. So while they're charging you extra for this, it should have been a given. Most contractors would have known
that was in there,
that you need a windstorm certificate.
That's what I was going to say also, Crystal. Why wasn't this done in the original bid, Mr.?
We haven't got the bids though.
Why are we doing change orders then?
Well, because it was a patch, it wasn't a re-roof, that's why. The re-roof was asked after the fact. If you look on the original scope of work, it just said to patch the existing roof. It doesn't say to re-roof it. That was asked later on.
It seems like that should have been.
Just because I don't know
known.
how many square feet were originally asked to be patched, because if it was over 100 square feet, boom, you need a windstorm certificate.
How many square feet were originally asked to be roofed in the original bid?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know off the top of my head.
Was it more than 100 square feet?
I'm going back to the original proposal. I mean, I'm sure it was probably over 100 square feet when you start adding it all together, but that I mean, if you look at our proposal, it doesn't say to provide the windstorm for the existing building.
I don't like that. Not even in person.
But like the lady said, isn't it where you're supposed to have
But
windstorm
we're
if
not
it's over 100 square
contractors,
foot?
though. The lady's a contractor. We're not contractors. We're consultants.
So basically, you're asking for permission slip to be able to spend up to $53,660 to get bids for that price or lower is what you're asking for.
Yeah, 'cause it's not the construction.
We're
'Cause
asking
it's not
for
the actual
so we
work.
can do the drawings to do the work.
You're asking for a permission slip to be able to go for bid to be able to do the work for this amount.
To be able to get bids from contractors to do the work for that, yeah.
My question would be, I'm a general contractor with industrial site projects. How much of the original $500,000 was part of that roof? Because that would be a huge impact. I mean, at $500,000 for less than 100 square feet to replace a roof, I think we're getting raked over the coals a little bit. So I would ask that question, because if we don't know that and he doesn't know that by the RFQ that's been sent out by the scope of work, the scope of work should, just to Crystal Gotro's point, should have been included in the fee. That would be inclusive in the original contract.
I mean,
Well, I can say originally
The
it was
original contract wasn't to re-roof the whole, I mean, wasn't to re-roof the whole roof there.
Right, the question is how much were you gonna repatch and what was the cost of that repatch?
And we're not asking for additional service to provide drawings to re-roof the whole roof, though. So we have a roof consultant that did a roof report, and from that roof report,
I think we should table this.
That's what I was fixing to say.
I would ask, I was just going to suggest
Yeah,
that if we could just
Council,
postpone
I would
it.
suggest you table this and dig further into it.
I'm gonna recommend tabling it.
I don't think that
Can
the
we get
numbers
more
are adding up.
information?
Yep.
And then, or we can all write our questions
Yeah.
down and
Thank
give
you,
them
ma'am.
for you to find out.
Yeah, let me work with Mr. Walters in getting answers to the questions that you have here today, and we'll bring that item back at the next council meeting.
Okay. Okay, a motion to table?
Mayor, I make a motion, we table this till we get better answers.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor. We have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now,
Thank you, sir. Hang it up.
Now we'll go back up to staff reports.
okay. Now we'll go into staff reports and other discussion items.
Yes, and the first one, I believe that's Mr. Perkins. He's got the annual report on the racial profiling.
Okay.
We're looking at you.
Okay, I believe you were going to present this report.
I thought it was just gonna be a consent on that, so, but I'm ready to do that. I pull the things up. So as you can see, Mayor and Council, that each year we have to do a racial profiling report for the state. And a part of that is you all get a copy of it as well. We use a consulting firm to do a comparative analysis and what we use them for is to ensure that we have an independent audit to show that we are within compliance with the racial profiling. And as you can see from the comparative analysis that Dr. Del Carmen from Tarleton State University provided to you all and to me to give to the state is there is no indication that our department goes into any type of racial profiling violation.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Okay, next we'll move into regulate fireworks sales in an environmental area, Will Pond.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, City Manager. I want to first thank y'all for putting this on the agenda. I know y'all are dealing with a lot bigger topics and decisions, so I appreciate your time. I am here this evening to request consideration of an addendum to the City Code of Ordinances that would allow the legal, properly permitted seasonal retail sale of fireworks in the area commonly known as the Aransas Pass Flats. Section 9-41 of the City Code currently states in part, it shall be unlawful for any person to manufacture, assemble, store, transport, receive, keep, sell, offer, or have in his possession with intent to sell, use, discharge, cause to be discharged, ignite, detonate, fire, or otherwise set in action any fireworks of any description, except as hereinafter provided. It is under this provision, except as hereinafter provided, that I am requesting the city consider an addendum permitting retail sales only under defined conditions within the flats. Allowing the sale of fireworks would not authorize their ignition or use at the point of sale. Any permitted operation would be limited strictly to retail activity. Clear signage and on-site enforcement would prohibit the lighting, testing, or use of fireworks on or near the sales location. A regulated and professional operated fireworks retail site would support public safety by providing customers with safety information and guidance regarding lawful use, consistent with direction from the Aransas Pass Police and Fire Departments. This approach promotes safer practices and helps reduce unintended public safety and environmental impacts. Permitting a limited number of regulated fireworks vendors would also provide measurable fiscal and community benefits. Seasonal fireworks sales generate taxable retail activity during peak holiday periods and support short-term seasonal employment. Formal permitting allows the city and county to better monitor and manage activity in the area that already experiences increased holiday use, including misuse of fireworks. Any vendor operating under an addendum should be fully vetted and required to comply with all applicable city regulations, state fire marshal rules, and Texas Department of Insurance license agreements, and to coordinate as necessary with local fire and law enforcement officials to ensure traffic flow, emergency access, and safety standards are maintained. For these reasons, I respectfully request the City Council consider allowing the seasonal retail of fireworks on the flats, subject to proper permitting, safety standards, and enforcement oversight. Thank you for your time and consideration. Be happy to talk about site plans or answer any questions you might have.
What exactly on the flats is this?
So, I worked with Danny of, he's got a, Danny Dorman has a
The bait
shop,
Mhm.
and he's willing to work with me to
do it
put
at
one
South Bay?
on his property as part of his business, you know, temporary seasonal use.
Which bait shop is his?
South Bay.
The black and, the red, white, and blue building,
Yeah, the one to go
just
out.
over the bridge. He does deep sea charters out of there.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is that if we open this up to you, then we're gonna have people that want us to open it up to them in other areas of the city. And, I just don't know if we're just opening up something we don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the way I
I'm
looked
just
at the
concerned about that.
map, you know, you have certain sections that are environmental use.
Mhm.
And so that might be an option is, you know, and I did include, as part of my submission, a proposed ordinance addendum.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
worried about opening up a can of worms where then all of a sudden
Yeah, I
people
understand.
use you against
Yeah, well,
us and
and
say,
I'm
well,
not,
you
I'm
allowed
not
it.
asking you to permit it for me, I'm
Yeah.
asking you to
Or
open
that we
it
then end up with
for-
20
for
on the
permitting
flats.
for anybody to apply. And,
Let me ask, have you looked into, I mean, 'cause this is a Aransas Pass flats, right? I mean, and they're regulated by the feds, right? It's not city property.
Well, it's debatable, because
I mean,
I'm told it is
I-
city property.
It's within the city, but it doesn't belong to the city. It's not
No,
city property.
No, the property itself does not belong to the city, no.
Right.
And that's why I want to work with I'm working with a property, you know, business owner to put a fireworks.
Yeah,
retail
the
stand.
port owns a lot of it, but then the rest of it is privately owned on both sides.
Yeah, so, no, I'm not asking to just put a fireworks stand out on the flats, but to work, you know, to be permittable.
It's at a
You
business.
guys would have to approve any firework permit that would come through. You just, it would need an addendum right now to the city code to allow permits. But you guys would decide how many and.
That's what I'm worried about too.
but
How
that
many
would-
then are gonna
that'd
wanna
be a-
pop up out there?
That'd be a choice that y'all would make.
I think that's the concern that, you know, that both myself and our city attorney share is that, you know, you would open it up. And once you've allowed one area, you open it up to other areas in the city.
Well,
Or then
here's-
even on
here's
the
my
flats,
thought
we end up with
process.
20 fireworks stands up there and.
No, and I agree.
Mhm.
Here's my thought process. You know, shrimpers only have so many permits. The floating islands out there for fishing, the little fishing villages, those are so many, you have to sell a permit or buy a permit.
And only allow so many.
There's only so many. And so that's what I'm suggesting is that you guys decide amongst yourselves how many permits you would allow, and then, you know, take the applications as they come and decide from there.
If you know, we can come back to it, it's up to y'all.
My concern is fishermen are very competitive by nature. And I'm assuming the boats we have access to this marina, which has bait, which it could also purchase fireworks. People getting the S word and other things transpiring, you know, oh, let's go pop a bunch of firecrackers out in the water or in the flats, and then before you know it, it affects our environment.
Well, that's already happening.
You know, It just worries me that kind of opens up another avenue for people to be foolish.
I hear you, and that's why I addressed that in my presentation, is that we're there as a extension of the city, of the fire department, of the, you know, a representation of responsible use. So
Sure.
What do you think about it, Mike?
So I've had some brief conversations with Mr. Pond about this, and I am the biggest advocate for small business entrepreneurship and capitalism. But I think when we talk about selling fireworks, my opinion, my professional opinion, is that's putting the cart before the horse. We already do not allow the sales of fireworks in the city limits, and we have a firework problem. We have fires every 4th of July, every New Year's Eve. It's a
And
problem.
they're always on the flats, too.
Yep.
And it's on the flats, and it's a problem. But I think unless there's a solid plan to amend the ordinance to allow the ignition and lighting of fireworks in the city in some designated safe space, I think allowing the sales before that is just going to perpetuate and enhance the problem we're already having in the flats. As the city attorney said, a lot of that's private property, although it is in the city limits, that's private property. So all the folks that are out there doing it now technically are trespassing. And, you know, and I don't think the city wants to get into the business of allowing fireworks ignitions on our property, like at the park or something like that. That's not my decision.
I'm just concerned, like you said, with the fires, and then our trucks can't get back in to a lot of that property.
I think before we allow the sales of fireworks in the city limits, we have to have a better plan on what are they going to do with it now.
Yeah. How do we even go about making a better plan, or is it even something that
I
is
don't
worth the
think-
city doing? Is there one
I don't think it's
plausible?
they're going to do it. People are going to light fireworks no matter what.
I've been doing
We
it
just
out
don't want to
there
give it right next to where
forever.
they're going to be doing them.
Yeah.
We don't.
I mean, I think we have a solid ordinance in place, and in my opinion, and we need to follow that. Like Chief says, I mean, we have that in place right now. I mean, it's got several fires that he's got, you know.
Yeah.
Having fireworks stands on.
And it's not my job to inhibit or constrict.
No,
small
I'm
business
torn
or
with you.
local.
Like, I'm all about small business. I'm all about, I think it's a great idea on the surface until,
And I've
I
told
just feel
Mr.
like it
Pond,
opens
I
up
said,
a can of worms on all different levels.
I
That's the
told
problem.
Mr. Pond, it's a great idea to have a place right there that sells it.
Yeah.
If you're going to take it to the island, or if it was legal to do it someplace, but there's not.
Yeah.
And I think that was just going to enhance the problem.
Okay. Do you want to speak, Ms. Carroll?
Carol Salinas, resident of Aransas Pass. I'm against the fireworks out there. We've all been out there. We know what happens as it is now. But if you put up the stands to sell the fireworks, that is basically encouraging people to shoot off fireworks in that general area. We already have that problem now, and I, as a citizen, am against that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Make a motion that we.
Well, there's no action today. It was just a
that's
presentation.
right.
Yes, that was it.
Okay, well, Will, unless you can come up with something just insanely
It is what it is.
persuasive.
I appreciate y'all.
No, I'm
Thank you, Will.
sorry.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks.
Okay, now we're going to move to consent agenda and approval of the following meeting minutes. Regular meeting minutes of December 15th, 2025, and the regular meeting minutes of January 5th, 2026. And do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 15th, 2025, and the regular meeting minutes of January 5th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to move into the sip and stroll public hearing ordinance. And public hearing to consider adopting an ordinance establishing a sip and stroll district in the downtown area. And it is 6:44 p.m. and I declare this public hearing open.
Hi, Joseph.
Okay.
You can't
forget to go get her.
Mayor, as for the record, Councilmember Martin has filed a conflict of disclosure form, and she will not be participating in the discussion of this item for the sip and shop ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Evening, Mayor, Council. Quick summary. So this ordinance is to allow open container and consumption of only beer and wine in the downtown area. It'll be a restricted area. There will be rules that will be regulated for this area, such as no glass containers. Signage will be posted and regulating what businesses, well, giving the option to the businesses that are in this area the opportunity to participate or decline to participate.
I do have a question because right now, if you are a business and you give away a beer or a glass of wine, you don't have to have that that TABC license. So is that, our businesses say that we have a boutique and they want people to come in there and shop and they give them a glass of wine, are they allowed to walk out with that glass of wine, or are they going to have to finish it inside the establishment?
That one I will have to do a little bit more research on. That those
Okay.
are the type of
It's-
items that we do need.
They
to
can walk out with it. Yeah, you can
And
walk
make-
out with it.
and make
Okay.
sure that
That was the question I
beer
had
and wine
because I know
license,
that
same way.
I do know in the ordinance
have
does
some-
state-
Purchase it and walk out.
we
with
have some prospects on some people, they just give it away. And I know that because I go to Portland and they give you a glass of wine while you shop.
I do know in the ordinance it does state about the TABC
Mhm.
rules, and it's something that we do have
That's
to.
for selling it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, they'll still have to comply with all the TABC
Okay.
laws.
Exactly.
Cool. All right.
Do we have any public comment?
Yeah.
Will Pond.
Hi, Will.
Thanks. I wholeheartedly support this effort, and just from personal experience, my wife and I have traveled all over the country, and we seek out small boutique towns to visit for a weekend or whatever, and when they have this type of policy, it's awesome because it just makes you feel like you can relax. I've never seen any problems with it personally. I've never even heard of any problems with it. There's tons of examples all over Texas even that do this, and I believe it will support businesses wanting to be part of the growing industry in downtown Aransas Pass, and therefore then we draw the customers. But I think it'll help draw businesses, and I support it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Will.
Will.
Hello, Council. Crystal Gotro, owner of Pook's Pub. Again, I've already made my statement before that I am supportive of this. I just did want to put on the record that Pook's wouldn't participate because we would have to pay money to have an off-premise licensing, because we do currently sell beer and wine and liquor. But it's to incentivize people to come and want to open up their storefront downtown. So I'm glad that y'all have put out a lot of information out there to clear up some misconceptions, and I really hope that y'all move forward with this. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Crystal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is Donovan Bennett. I'm a resident here of Aransas Pass, been here since 2012. One of the things before, everybody was talking on a little bit of emotion and great ideas, and I appreciate the council for actually having an open mind to accept new ideas, new opportunities to bring to our community. If we don't do something about it, we're just going to diminish away. But today I'd like to bring facts. I did my research, checked on a couple of municipalities around our area in the South Texas region, Victoria, Seguin, obviously Rockport, obviously Port Aransas, communities that are about the same size. And what they did whenever they had events that had the sip and stroll, they paid attention very well to the impact it made. The impact was about 20%. They saw an increase event for event. And that, if you look at the math in that, that's huge. If I think our fiscal year tax dollars received is about 3.15 million. If we had a 20% increase on that, what could we do with those dollars? How can we put those dollars and re-inject them back into the community, into improvements? This is all fact. It's all in there. You just got to research it, do your homework. I do agree that everybody has a sense of an opinion. Some people may or may not agree with it. But the facts remain is that the dollars come when the foot traffic stays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the key. We have to get the foot traffic to stay in Aransas Pass, not just drive through. So the big things I think that are considered here is what are the economic impacts? And if you do the math on that, a 20% increase of 3.15 would put you about another $640,000 a year. If we do that with just the existing business, and that brings in another 25% of potential vendors and companies that want to come and reinvest in our community, it's exponential. The dollars could blow through the roof. You throw another 20% on top of that just for the addition of businesses that now see that Aransas Pass has a reputation. Yeah, you can call it a good reputation, bad reputation, that's your opinion. But if they know they can come out here, husbands can come out, they won't just spend the day in Aransas Pass. They'll experience the day in Aransas Pass.
I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bam.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else wants to speak on this item?
How you doing, Council? I'm Greenhill the Fourth, owner of the Helm. I think I approve. I think it's a good idea for to do the sip and stroll. At the end of the day, you know, if whoever's opposed to it, at the end of the day, it's going to be like a trial period. So if it turns out bad, you know, you squash it.
Yep.
But if it turns out good, then it's something that you guys can extend. I want to commend you guys on, you know, bringing this forward, and I look forward for other, you know, ideas that you guys have to kind of spruce up the downtown.
Okay.
Thank you,
sir. Okay. Oh,
I apologize, I forgot to mention one thing.
You're good.
Also in my research, no impact to infrastructure. Very, very little impact to infrastructure.
Yep.
And that was every community, nothing negative that I read. They're not gonna say it's perfect, but it's nothing substantial.
Yep.
You know, because I know a lot of people have concerns about testing our first responders and things of that nature. They're still here, they're out there patrolling every day, just like they always do.
All right.
So just
Right.
wanted to make sure that was on record.
Okay, thank you,
you.
sir. Okay, anybody else wants to speak? Okay, then I'll declare this public hearing closed, and it is 6:51 p.m. And consider an act on first reading of an ordinance amending the City of Ordinances by adding Chapter 3, Alcoholic Beverages, Article 1, in general, Article 2, Sip and Stroll District, creating a Sip and Stroll District and allowing the public consumption of alcoholic beverages in approved containers within the district, providing rules, hours of operation, signage request, enforcement, and an effective date.
I'll make a motion to consider an act on first reading of an ordinance amending the City of Ordinances by adding Chapter 3, Alcoholic Beverages, Article 1 in general, Article 2, Sip and Stroll District, creating a Sip and Stroll District and allowing the public consumption of alcoholic beverages in approved containers within the district, providing rules, hours of operation, signage requirements, enforcement, and effective date.
We need to do the date and hours and all that right now.
I was gonna ask, Mr. Hernandez, what date, I'm sorry, not, Joseph, what date do we recommend for this, ordinance to go into effect? Okay, to be
March 1st.
effective March 1st.
To be effective on March 1st, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, now I guess we can get Miss Luann back in here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Nobody brought a glass of champagne.
Just for the record, now this ordinance did pass on first reading.
Then we
It'll
gotta
come
come
back at
back.
the next meeting for final approval
Right.
on the
Okay.
16th.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. The door closes
Okay, now we're gonna move into action items. And we're gonna consider an act on a resolution ordering an election to be held in the City of Aransas Pass on May 2nd, 2026 for the purpose of electing a council member to places 2 and 4, authorizing a joint agreement with San Patricio County Elections Administrator for the conduct of the election, providing for procedures for holding such elections, providing for notice of an election and publication, providing for establishment of early voting polling place and designating election day polling place location, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
So Mayor, in your packet, you'll have the draft of the resolution and along with the contract provided by the county, and the county does facilitate the election. So per attachment B, the early voting location, of course, would be the Civic Center on 700 West Wheeler. The dates, and I want to correct that off the memo. We're only going to have one 12-hour day, and that's correct in the resolution. So early voting the date will be April 20th, 2026, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That'll be the first day of early voting, and that'll be the 12-hour day. Then early voting continues after the 21st. The 21st is San Jacinto Day. It's a state holiday. The state will not is not going to be functioning, so the counties won't be functioning as well as far as facilitating the election. So the election will early voting begins again April 22nd, 2026 to April 28th, 2026. And it would be 8 to 5 each weekday. They won't be operating during the weekend during that time. And then, of course, Election Day will be held in the same location on Wheeler Street Civic Center on May 2nd, 2026, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. per the law.
All right, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion concerning act on a resolution ordering an election be held in the city of Aransas Pass on May 2nd, 2028, and everything that Sal just said.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to consider and act on a issuance for a request for proposals for the 2026 Independence Celebration firework display to be held at Com Brown Harbor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am here tonight requesting authorization. I'm sorry?
What's your name?
Jennifer Stacy.
Jennifer what?
Stacy.
Thank you.
I am here tonight requesting authorization to begin the RFP process for the 4th of July celebration.
All right. Anything?
I don't have any questions.
No? Okay, what's the pleasure of the council? We have a motion?
I'll make a motion concerning act on issuance of request for proposal for the 2026 Independence Day celebration firework display to be held at Com Brown Harbor.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed?
Great job.
Motion carries. Thank you, Stacy.
I know. You did great.
Okay.
Can I just add, if that's
Sure.
okay? When we do the RFP, of course, our first option is going to be July the 4th, which is Saturday. Our second option, if that's not available, will be Friday, July the 3rd.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, we're going to consider an act to approve an online auction through Renee Bates Auctioneers to sell old, broken, or unused city property and destroy any unsold or designated for destruction items.
I believe that is Mr. Perkins.
We introduced this last council meeting, and you all requested that some things be added to the list for the auction. We did, Councilman Haskins, we did ask other departments about the tires, and nobody, the tires did not fit any of the vehicles that they have, and they don't currently fit any of our tires.
Why did we buy them then?
These were bought a long time ago.
Oh, probably out of date then.
They've been sitting there for a while. They weren't while we bought them, or while I've been here, so it was before my time.
Good enough.
David Offalter, he's the one that's been working on getting the departments together to get all the items on the list for y'all. So I'm gonna pass that over to him if you have any questions on it.
Yeah, I think we put a reserve on the fire engine, right?
Yes, on the engine truck. We included a minimum asking price.
300,000.
300,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was several public works vehicles added as well.
Okay. All right. I guess the public works vehicles are probably pretty much trashed, I would guess, came
I
from
believe
them
they're all out of
guys.
service.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
here, but yeah, I believe they're all out of service.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions? No good?
I'll make a motion to consider and act and approve the online auction through Renee Bates Auctioneers to sell old, broken, and unused city property and destroy any unsold or designated for construction items.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to consider an act to authorize the city manager to enter into a MOU with the Texas Forest Service ensuring certain wildland firefighting training standards are maintained for statewide emergency deployments.
Council, this is a memorandum of understanding with the Texas Forest Service that it basically says that if we are requested for deployment assistance for statewide emergencies, or in turn we request statewide assistance for our own local emergencies, that in-kind personnel will be trained to the National Wildfire Coordination Group standards for wildfire fighting, which we already do. But they are requiring this MOU to continue
Gotcha.
statewide assistance.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Texas Forest Service ensuring certain wildland firefighting training standards are maintained for the statewide emergency deployments.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
He's got one more. He's got one more.
Oh, he does. Now we're gonna move to consider an act to approve a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the office of the governor and authorize the city manager to direct the fire chief to apply for a no-cost share grant with the office of the governor for emergency medical supplies and equipment.
So this is a grant that was announced by the Office of the Governor. It's the Border Zone Fire Department grant. And Aransas Pass sits in a county, San Patricio, that qualifies as one of the border zone counties that qualifies for submission of this grant. So one of the qualifying grant purchases is for EMS supplies. So I would like to put in for automated external defibrillator / cardiac monitors to put on our apparatus. But in order to apply, I need a resolution. So there's also a resolution attached to this item.
I missed that one, Mike, I'm sorry. What monitor is it?
It's a cardiac monitor. It works as an AED.
Is it the 12 lead or 6?
Well, I mean, I'm going to go bells and whistles and get the 12.
You're gonna have a paramedic to run it?
It'll operate in a AED capacity. We can disable the 12 lead portion of it until we get more advanced life support personnel trained.
Do you know what the shelf life on it is?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what the shelf life on it will be?
On a monitor?
Yeah, on the
Typically like 7 years, I think.
7 years.
And what would our cost be? Like, if we get this grant for it, what's our cost with maintenance or running it or whatever else? Does it need anything that we would have to be supplying?
Only if we were to use it in an AED capacity, is just the pads that you stick on the patient.
Okay, those aren't bad.
It's a shock.
Okay.
Mike, you've got 6 leads right now, right?
Right now, according to our protocols, because we are restricted to a BLS service,
Yep.
we have no leads.
I think
I thought you had a 6 lead.
Well, we have 4 lead. Our monitors are 4 lead capable. We are prevented from using those.
Okay, Mike, I think that we have gone through this before with this 12 lead and 6 lead deal, which we've decided at another time that we didn't want this. Am I not right?
Right. Yeah. But they operate in a AED capacity. When you turn them on, they automatically
Well, how much is one of those?
They're about 30,000.
They're going out for
And you're going how many?
Want to ask for 3
That's $90,000.
of a no-cost share grant.
I understand that, but it's still, in my opinion, we go this and we keep going, Mike. We're gonna go into trying to run an ambulance service out of this fire department, and we do not want that.
I can assure you, I feel the same way. We do not want an ambulance service. But my vision for the fire department is to one day, when we get people trained, is to have advanced life support personnel on the fire truck responding to calls first response. There's plenty of communities in Texas that run paramedic engines first response.
Will your men have to have the ALS certification to operate the 12-lead AED?
No,
They don't.
they do not.
They don't have to have the ALS.
Absolutely not, because it reverts to AED mode
Right.
when you turn it on.
I mean, we train on AEDs every year. It's
And
not
we're gonna
that-
be
it's not
running
a
it
big
in an
issue.
AED mode.
In an AED mode.
So why are we doing this then if you've already got what'll do that? Why are we spending 90 grand for
We're-
something that
we're
we're
not
not
spending it.
spending?
We are not spending 90
That's what-
grand.
Why are we approving it to be spent?
No, it's a grant.
It's a
It's a
grant.
grant.
I'm wording it wrong, but I know
It's-
it's a grant.
It's free money.
It's free money, but ours are reaching end of life, so they're going to need to be replaced soon. And if this is an opportunity to replace them at no cost, I say give it a chance.
I'm stuck on a 6 lead because we get into these 12 leads. I mean, one thing lead to another, and if we start getting where everybody's got to be a paramedic, we're talking about a lot of payroll, a big jump in payroll.
Well, there is no requirement for anybody to be a paramedic.
I
That's a
know.
vision for one day.
Well, if you're going to
down
use
the
them in
road.
AED mode, anybody can use them. You can have them in a business and have it in AED capacity, and you basically do a little training and you open up the AED and it tells you what steps to take. You shouldn't have to have that.
You shouldn't have to be EMT certified or anything.
Well, I'm just saying that advanced cardiac life support, they already have the BLS. You do that with the BLS training, right? The AED is part of the BLS.
I just don't want to get too far off in a no man's land because that's what we pay Tri-County for. They're already our emergency services provider.
Mike, are
am-
you running first response?
Our guys, yes.
Yeah, they usually get there before
Yeah,
even
there's
Tri-County.
A number of times we get there before Tri-County. I think,
They were there first with Rocky.
Well, they were there first with me, but I mean, we're
for the life of me, I'm sorry, but I can't imagine a scenario why we wouldn't want the fire department to have those capabilities as first response.
Yeah, it's not a full-on ambulance. This is just something that could save somebody
If you
with
look
them
at
arriving on.
Georgetown, Round Rock, or any of these other fire departments in the state of Texas that have fire engines and not ambulances, you'll find paramedics on those engines first responding to calls and performing life-saving measures.
those are way bigger towns than we are. But like the mayor said, we don't want to get into the ambulance business because of, or the paramedics, because of the amount that it'll cost us. And I know that, I ran an ambulance service too, Mike. I know what you're talking about, and I know what it is.
But we already have AEDs, right?
We already do.
So this is just replacing them that are gonna be going out and not at our cost, is what I'm understanding, correct?
Right.
And helping us with our budget, basically.
Right, and I think you're focusing on the ALS capacity or capability of those cardiac monitors, but those aren't gonna be activated, so to speak. It's gonna be programmed to AED mode.
It's few and
It's
far
a soul-
between.
it's a
You're
soul-
going to
it's-
use it in a defibrillator mode.
Yeah.
It's not going to be it's mainly going to be for the AED capability for addressing those heart attacks and things like that.
But, and
Well,
since
my-
we're on- well, I'm gonna leave it alone.
In my opinion, if I may, it's a grant, which means it's free money. Your equipment right now needs to be replaced. Again, is free money. As a citizen, if I were in distress, I mean, I leave a little note on my desk at work, my medication if I take anything stupid that day, so my teacher knows what I took in case I react, because I'm going to be 60 years old. I get it. It'd be comforting to know that the firefighters have basic life-saving equipment. I would approve it with the understanding that this is by no means opening a portal to a full-flown EMT station or life,
Ambulance service.
ambulance service.
Yeah, that is not in my future for this department.
Yeah. I don't see no harm in it myself. I think it's,
I don't have a problem with it. Just,
if Chief says he
I'll
needs
vote
it, we need to support our chief. He needs what he needs.
I just understand that we've already talked about this, and we're not going into the ambulance business.
I get that, and it's, since we're on the subject.
Mike, I know that you guys get there first, and it is a necessity. I know that because you guys came to me. But I just have to look at the other side of it also. So
Right.
as long as you don't use it for that purpose, then by all means, it's free, take it.
I will tell you honestly, since we're on the subject, it burns me to no end that as a paramedic, I cannot perform paramedic skills on a scene if I were to respond to your house.
Mike, you know the reason why? It's because if you do, then you have to stay with the patient. And you guys don't have enough people on staff.
Until an ambulance service gets there and assumes patient care.
You don't have to maintain it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I thought you did.
No, if another paramedic from Tri-County gets there, we hand them off.
Okay.
So clarify why you can't provide paramedic services until.
That's a long story.
Yeah,
But
we're
it's
getting,
not on-
we're
it's
getting
That
off.
is not on the
topic of the-
agenda to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will change,
No,
I
it's
will
okay.
change my mind and attitude about it, and if, I will vote to allow you to have it.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to allow them to have the grant deal.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm doing something else, I didn't read it.
We got a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Yeah, come on, Will.
We need this, and I'm all for this, but there's something that irritates me when I hear anybody say it. Free money. Nothing is free. Just because it didn't come out of the city tax fund or something, it still come out of my pocket as a state tax fund. The state gets money from our taxes. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Will.
Thank you, Will.
That's fair, Will. Thank you.
Fair.
Okay, so we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion carries.
I'm not gonna give you anything you don't have to fight for, Mike.
Okay, special grant, governor. Okay, I didn't mark that off now.
We're at 9.8.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm caught up. All right, now we're gonna consider an act on a request from the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use Combine Harbor for the second annual Saltwater Freedom Fest to be held on Saturday, July 4th, 2026 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes, this request was submitted by the Chamber of Commerce, and Ms. Spinks and Mr. Dominguez are here in case you have any questions related to this item.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
I do. On December 1st, we ordered an audit on the chamber. Where are y'all at on that? I'm being compliant.
Okay, so we're Joe Dominguez, Chamber of Commerce. We're only here for the support. I don't think that's on the agenda.
Well, it is, and the reason of y'all have separated from the city, and
I thought you made that motion.
in reference to the letter from y'all's attorney saying that y'all wanted to be separated.
And this is just trying to get an approval to have an event
Exactly.
in the Commerce
Well, that's what I'm just
Harbor.
trying to figure out, because until we get that audit finished, it's kind of, you put the city in a tight bond, because a bind to where I just don't see why we are still giving to y'all when y'all can't comply with the law. And you can't comply with
Maybe I'm not following. What are you giving us?
the
We're just
property to
asking.
use for your festivals, which is kind of putting us in a bind, because on an emotional level, I want to approve that. I want to say, absolutely, use whatever we need, whatever we have that you can, because I absolutely love the festivals y'all do. I love all of them. But at the same time, we're just asking y'all for some transparency and checks and balances, and when you're not giving it to us, I'm having a hard time consciously, morally,
That's
and
two
ethically
separate
to be able to
entities.
approve anything.
But that's two separate entities. That's dealing with that situation. We're trying to have events for the city to, I mean,
All of it's
do
for the city.
festival.
It's all the city, it's all about the city. So.
I understand, but it's two different entities. You're talking about an audit that deals with one total different situation than what we're trying to approve and get permission to use an area of
City
Compound
property.
Harbor. I understand it's city property.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having a
I
real
mean,
hard
well, I mean,
time,
I
ethically being able to approve any of this without, now, once the audit's done, absolutely, come back, 100%, let's work on it. So, once y'all comply, and, I mean, this is really in the chamber's hands. And so it just kind of sucks because you're putting it on the city to make us go against something that we really love and hold dear to the city, and that is the festivals y'all do. And I think they're fantastic. But at the same time, when we've asked something of y'all that has been in your contract, it's local law, it's state law, and then you refuse to comply with us, it makes it very hard for then me to be able to approve that. I mean, I'm not up here.
Go with this discussion here?
I'm not up here to base my decisions based on emotion. I'm up here to base them on facts, and
No,
facts are, you're not complying with us.
This is still not on the agenda.
Sure.
This is a separate discussion.
So
for
are you
another-
saying
this
yes
point-
or are you saying no? Are you saying no to
I'm
Saltwater
saying I'd
Freedom
like to
Fest?
table,
Or are you
Well,
saying?
I'll give you my opinion. It's land. It's the city. The event is for our city.
Exactly.
For the community.
The community.
It's for the community.
Yes.
For
The
our
audit,
vendors.
to me, I have to agree, it is separate.
Yes.
And Mary, how much do these events cost the city electrical wise? Is it a lot of money? Do we don't have anything else planned for that?
Electrical out there.
And, well, that's right, generators and stuff. Anyhow, I would still like to see the audit go through, but I don't want to penalize our city in the process by not having these events. That's just my opinion.
I understand
feel
where
like we're
everyone's coming from. I
penalizing
just don't base
our
my
city.
decisions based on emotion. I base them on facts. And I think that we
How
should
does this
table it
affect-
until.
Well, because we had the special
the
council
audit's
meeting
completed.
where we had the special council meeting where we separated from the chamber. How are these agenda items, Mr. Isasi?
It's not gonna affect it any, basically what the council did was terminate our existing contract. That doesn't mean we can't work with the chamber on these issues.
I'd just like to see
It's
them
not
work with
gonna
us.
affect that. And
Agreed.
I agree with, Ms. Martin that, you know, the audit issues, that's separate.
Exactly.
That is a separate issue that maybe Mr. Dominguez and this lady here, they're not privy to all the discussions that's been going on or what the status is on that, to where they'd be able to answer. Or maybe they do, they've been advised by counsel, their own attorney, not to discuss what could be potential litigation, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid here. But at the same time, I think at the end of the day, you know, the fact that we terminated the contract with the chamber, I mean, the chamber's always been the city's right hand. And in that sense, my opinion, it's no foul in approving what they're asking. You know, going forward, these events don't happen till July, and I think the other ones don't happen till October. And these are totally independent from any audits or any issues that we've got going on right now.
I just don't want our citizens to be penalized in the interim.
Well, then, it's pretty simple. Let's table it and.
I say let's,
But we could table it
But
until
I
the
don't
audit's
understand
complete.
why we need.
Yeah, come on, Crystal.
I'm a member of the chamber and I'm not a citizen, but as council, I don't want you all to penalize the actions of some people on the chamber. There's a whole new board in, but like you're supposed to represent not only the citizens, but the business members here. And I just think it's unfair. I love the chamber, I love the council, of course, but I think it's unfair to not approve this because of other things that are not, you're penalizing the whole membership. And I just don't think that's fair if you don't approve this, because it brings in money to residents and businesses that live here. And it's a great event. So
I agree with
all
you.
the
I
events
think
that
all
we
of their
put on
events are
throughout
great.
The whole entire year. We've got a Mardi Gras that's coming up in 2 weeks. When we come back next year, if something falls through or something like that next year when we come for Mardi Gras, Or are you going to?
Well, I'm not saying no. I said let's table it until all the other loose ends are tied up. And that's all I'm asking for.
But that puts us into a situation where we have to plan for these events. It's not something that we can just do overnight. We have to find sponsors. We have to do all of the logistics to it, which you understand.
No, I do
that
understand.
takes time.
I do understand.
I mean, we can't be, let's wait and table this for the next 3 months if that's how long this audit's going to take, just putting this out there. And then y'all finally to come to us and say, oh, May 1st, yeah, you know what, we're going to go ahead and let you have this. That gives us 2 months to plan for an event.
Well, I understand that. I think it's unfortunate that we've been put in this
You're
situation.
taking away from the town, you're taking away from the city, you're taking away from the people, and you're taking away
You're
from the
putting it
events.
off on us, just taking.
I'm not putting it off. I'm trying
you're
to
saying
find a
we
yes
are.
or no
You guys have
answer.
taken citizens' money.
Hang on, everybody,
And you have
one at a time.
not reported it back to us as how you used it. So we don't know that it was used for the chamber, for the council, for your projects, or for anything else. It's the citizens' money that we gave you. We're responsible for the citizens' money.
Can
Joe,
you
were
clarify
on the
that?
board,
Citizens'
so you
money?
had something to do with it.
My funds belong to the citizens.
Okay,
What are
guys,
you trying to say,
for
Randy?
item
That's what I
number
said.
number
How do we
8,
take citizens' money?
Do what?
Explain that.
Explain what?
Explain that, what you just said.
That it's the citizens' money?
Correct.
It is.
We
Any
didn't
money
take it.
that
We
goes out of
didn't
this
accept any of that.
council goes out, that's citizens' money that was given to y'all. It's their
Mary,
money.
is
not
We're
yours.
asking for an approval to use
Yeah.
a piece of land to have an event. We're not asking for your
We
money
asked
for
for,
this
we
event.
asked for
accountability.
an audit, and we
Well, that
didn't
has
get it.
nothing to do with this discussion. This has nothing to do with
It has to do with
this.
two entities.
Mayor,
It has
at
to
this
do with
point,
the chamber and it
hang
has
on.
I
to
think we need to get back to what's actually on the agenda. Either
Yeah.
they approve it or table
We
it
need to
or do
keep-
something, but
Yeah.
need to
this
keep
this is not
separate.
supportive.
Well, hang on, guys.
Yeah, at this
We need to
point,
keep one at a time in here, keep a little order going.
Yes, I think you need to get back to the item that's
Yep.
on the agenda.
I
and that
agree.
is to
I
use
That's to approve the property.
the use of
Anything else,
Calgon
yeah.
Harbor for the Freedom Fest
Right.
event.
I'll make a motion, we table it.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Table it to when?
Till the audit's complete.
That is correct. I'll amend my motion to say table it until the audit is given to us like we requested 3 months ago. Actually, a little longer than that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna vote to let you guys use the property.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll stand up here for
Okay,
a minute.
now we are, I'm lost like crazy right now. Okay, these next two items, we're gonna act on them as one, and it'll be the 78th Annual Shrimpery. First will be consider an act to approve the request from the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use Community Park for the 78th Annual Shrimpery event scheduled for October 16th through the 18th, 2026, with the carnival beginning on Thursday, October 15th, 2026. And we're also going to consider an act to approve the temporary street closure of Arch Street, Danforth Street, and Highland Street beginning Friday, October 16th, 2026 at 4 p.m. through Sunday, October 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. for the 78th Annual Shrimpery event.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I need to go back to item 1.
Okay.
So the motion was to table the item until the audit was complete, and then we had 2 votes for for that motion, and then 2 votes
Do I need to make
against
a
the motion.
motion to approve?
So we need a motion
I'll be more than happy to do
approve
that.
that item.
I want to make a motion to consider an act on a request from the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use Con Brown Harbor for the 2nd Annual Saltwater Freedom Fest to be held on Saturday, July 4th from 2 to 8 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go into the other 2. And, guess anybody have any questions on these 2?
Which ones was it?
It was,
The shrimpery.
yeah, to use the grounds and for the street closures. It'd be
Yeah.
item
I
number 2.
went through that.
I want to make a statement before we get into all this, keeping in mind item 1 and 2, as well as the Freedom Fest, is completely separate. And I say this statement because I refuse to have a Facebook fight about this. Not going to do it. At the same time, I believe our citizens need to know the truth of what's happened, what's transpired, and how City Council feels and why we feel. So for those reasons, in August of 2025, City Council requested from Chamber of Commerce copies of their annual audits as required per their contract with the city for receiving hot funds. In November of 2025, the Chamber provided to the city QuickBook entries for 2 years, but no copies of audits as requested. Please know, people, QuickBook entries are only as good as a person who puts in the entry. If you do not have receipts to back it up, you cannot verify anything. On December 1st of 2025, City Council approved an agreement with Brenda McElwee for auditing services of hotel occupancy tax funds provided to the Chamber and Visitor Center for years 2023 and 2024. The city is required by law. It's not an option. It's not up for discussion. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You have to do it. Period. The end. Does everybody understand that? That's the way it is. The city is required by law to make sure the funds are managed properly. It is in our contract with the Chamber, which today is our previous contract with the Chamber. They were required to provide us yearly audits, of which they did not. On January 14th of 2026, city manager, city attorney, received a demand letter for back payment of hot funds for the amount of $168,328.33. It was stated that Chamber had not received hot funds since May of 2025. This is false. A check was issued dated May 15th, 2025, the second quarter, in the amount of $39,646.55. And another check was issued on August 21st, 2025, for the third quarter in the amount of $60,841.17. Now, folks, you can't make this up. You can't. Mary, I believe we need to track the third quarter check. They're not saying they didn't receive the May check. They're acknowledging they did. But I want to see where that third quarter check went, who endorsed it, which bank processed it, and whose account it went into. Because a check has cleared the bank. And if Chamber is saying they didn't receive those funds, then we need to know who did and follow the appropriate measures that are necessary to retrieve those funds and make sure they go to the appropriate people. So with that being said, I personally do not have a problem allowing you all to use the property. However, I see a big problem issuing more funds.
Well, we'll wait on that one. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Do you want to, is that going to be your motion? You can make a motion if you want.
I'll make a motion to allow, to consider an act to approve the request from the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use Community Park for the 78th Annual Shrimpery event for October 16th through the 18th, 2026, with the carnival being on Thursday, October 15th, 2026.
Yeah, and then also read the second, because we're combining
Pardon
them
me.
in one.
Also to consider an act to approve the temporary street closure of Arch Street, Danforth Street, and Highland Street beginning Friday, October 16th, 2026 at 4 p.m. through Sunday, October 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. for the 78th Annual Shrimpery event.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I want to state something. I feel
Sure.
the same in regards to this, but I also want to clarify. I absolutely would love to see these festivals go on. My point in not supporting it right now is because we don't get support from the chamber itself. And it's, for an analogy purposes, it would be like taking your child's phone away and saying, you can't use your phone, but then me handing them mine. And that's what I feel like we're doing with this, is that we are still continuously just giving. And I just feel like until the audit is complete, until y'all comply, we get to see checks and balances, we have transparency, we have accountability, that I just can't approve anything. And that's where I stand. It's on an emotional level, I want to say, sure, absolutely, have these festivals. I'm not trying to take them away from the citizens and everybody else. It's absolutely on a business level and on a non-emotional level and on a just fiscally and responsibly.
Also,
Of why I'm deciding that.
going back to my statement, I failed to mention, City Council voted as requested by Chamber to separate. It was Chamber's idea, their request, we obliged. So people who are saying that City Council parted from Chamber, that is not the way it happened. This was nothing more than Chamber's request. So I want to put that to rest. Again, I'm not having a Facebook fight. Not going to do it. Not
That
going
was
to have a
actually
Facebook.
something we were told multiple times over the
Multiple
months. that
times.
It was in
So
want,
we
and just
finally
never
did
received
oblige.
anything.
We gave the Chamber their wishes.
Are we only voting right now on parts 1 and 2?
1 and 2,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that was on 2.
So we
I'll
haven't-
make a second, because you made
Yeah,
the motion,
yeah.
right? I'll second it.
Okay, and any further discussion, guys? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Do we need to reread it, or is that good? No?
I make a motion to deny, to consider an act to approve security assistance in the amount not to exceed $29,000. Joe, Cherie, I would love to give you all the money for this, and I'll be more than happy to, once the event is over, if y'all provide us the $29,000 worth of receipts
So
that were paid.
that is for public safety?
Right.
That's not,
These are also
that's not
called,
for us.
these are also called operations costs, which,
Come
and
from hot
well, one,
funds.
it'd have to come through hot funds, which means you'd have to
I
apply
don't know
through
where
hot
the money
funds.
comes from.
Well,
That's
what
on
what they
public-
do, what the chamber does is at the end of the event, they submit, I guess, an invoice to the city of the cost that they incurred for security services, and
Yeah,
the
that's
city
y'all's
reimburses them I think it exceeds $29,000, but for whatever
Yes,
reason,
but
we've always.
Last year was 38,000.
Yes.
Yeah, but we've always just reimbursed them 29,000, and the city has taken it from hot funds.
I would recommend
Do we
at
get
the-
an
at
itemized
the-
receipt
I'd
of
recommend
those?
at the least, tabling it. That's me, I wouldn't deny it. I'd
Now, I
do
would
the least
support
table it.
tabling this until after the
Make a
audit.
motion, we table
Agree.
it. Or I
Table it
think
till
she
after
made
the-
one, I'll second it.
Well, I believe
No, she
Ms.
didn't.
Martin's motion was to deny.
I would deny
Oh, okay.
until the audit is over and done with.
We wanna table
Deny
it.
or table it?
You wanna table it?
You need to table it because.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all want to do. I'll make a motion, table it until the audit's over.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Okay, now we're going to go into executive session. We have 5 items. First will be a Rand's Pass Chamber of Commerce audit. Second will be Con Brown Harbor lease Pook's Pub. Third will be Con Brown Harbor lease Captain Katie's. Fourth will be Con Brown Harbor lease CB Marine. And 5 will be potential harbor lease kayak and bike rental. I can't even say that. And do we want to move
Mayor.
that one first?
Let's do that one first.
Just very quickly, Councilmember Camarillo Smith has filed a conflict of disclosure form. She will be participating only in the Bodie's,
I can't hear you.
the Bodie's kayak
Yeah.
and bike rental. So
Yeah.
she'll just be included from that conversation and bring her in for the rest
Move
of it.
that one to first.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't hate me, man. Hey, so I got off on call.
We're going to reconvene in open session, and it is 9:07 p.m. And do we have any motions?
Yes, I have a motion to approve a Con Brown Harbor lease for Pook's Pub LLC.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
And a motion to issue a letter of intent to Bodie's Kayak and Bike Rental for 800 linear feet at Con Brown Harbor.
108.
108 linear feet.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
And for the record, let it show that Councilmember Camarillo Smith abstained.
Okay, okay, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And I think with that being said, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.